So welcome back to another pickleball breakdown video. If you've never seen these before, this is me in the black, the bald guy, and I'm going to just analyze my play and my play only. So let's get right into it and see how I could improve. My partner there is Al. This is open pickleball at the pickleball club that I'm a part of, so you play with different people all the time. So sometimes I play with Al, sometimes I play with a lot of these other players all over the place, and it's mixed level stuff, but some pretty good pickleball overall. Bad shot by me there. So they are stacking because she's a lefty, so he's going to serve from this side. I like that shot. I was happy with that shot a lot. I'm basically looking to make sure that he cannot hit that ball. And so naturally, the ball is obviously way in the back here. He lobbed it up. And the common shot a lot of people do is just try to basically lob it back to them. But since they're deep, I knew I had a lot of opportunity to just hit this ball a little bit harder and just get it anywhere in their court, and it was going to put them at a deficit because they weren't right against the kitchen. If they lobbed this the way that they should have immediately and immediately went up to the kitchen, this would have been harder for me because I would have had to drop the shot while I was walking backwards. But because they didn't, it allowed me to actually be able to drive this ball. So I was able to actually drive it a little bit harder, where this ball is falling right here would have been right in their zone and pretty easy for them to block and get it right back to us. But because they weren't in position and they had to run up to it, this ball driving and dropping with that topspin was much harder for them to get. So I was able to basically just hit this ball with power right at his feet, and he couldn't do anything with it. So much of what I'm realizing in pickleball is really just paying a lot of attention, obviously, to what your opponent is doing. Where are they on the court? What type of shot are they good at or bad at? And trying to just attack that specific thing. So that's really a big piece of pickleball, is making the right decision and then executing it, of course. But nice shot there by Al. It's, you got to execute the shot regardless, but far too many times I see a lot of people just make a bad decision, which no matter whether you execute the shot or not, if it's not a great decision on what shot to hit, it's not necessarily going to be the right one. And another big piece that I'm working on a lot that I feel like I've gotten much better at, and Al did a really nice job of there too, is letting the ball go out. So many people just want to defend every shot. And a lot of people, if they're not great at pickleball, they will hit out a lot. So being able to not hit the ball is equally as important as actually hitting the ball. There you go. Nice drop there. So that's a shot I've been working on a lot, obviously. That is a drop shot. That went a little bit further than I would have wanted. It worked really well in this situation. She didn't do anything with it. But if you're playing with a little bit of a better player, naturally they could reach and catch that out of the air and not even let it bounce. But this third shot drop is obviously incredibly important. Being able to drop it from back there into the kitchen is crucial. Like I said, this went a little bit further than I wanted it to. But in general, that is, I feel like, the thing that has actually gotten me to play better and better over the last bunch of weeks as I've been practicing that, is that shot. Because if I get this ball and I just simply hit it back to them into the air, they can spike it home. But I was able to drop it here, which kind of threw her off, and she wasn't able to return it. And that's what you got to do for sure to gain some advantage. Pickleball's obviously always trying to, smash that puppy home there. And capitalizing on that kind of stuff obviously is crucial. Now, that's not a hard shot, obviously. If the ball is lobbed in the air nicely, like it was to me on this play, I should be able to do that all day, but just still have to execute it. Right there, that's high. There's no point me doing anything else other than slamming that home right down the middle. There's no point me trying to just tap it, just power it home. Don't even give them a chance to return it. End the point. Five, 1, 2. Same thing with that. Just try to power it home. Don't need to do anything else. Don't need to try to get super fancy with angles at that spot. Just literally, if they can't handle the power back to them, try to finish the point. One of the rare just misses. So you will see on that defense that I just had, and you'll actually see it. I don't know how many times you'll see it in this match, but I do it actually a lot. You'll see that I naturally grab this with my left hand and defend it. Now, I've actually been trying to do that more often on quick defense because I just naturally am going to it quickly and have done a decent job doing it. I'm actually working on trying to make my left hand forehand actually stronger. If I could potentially have a strong forehand with my left hand as well as my right, I feel like that could be a huge advantage. I'm okay with my backhand, but naturally, if I could somehow work the lefty in comfortably, it'd be great. I feel like I'm getting better at doing it kind of quickly, but I've actually been working on some of the long shots that way as well. So it's just something different I'm trying. So in this kind of case too, this happens a lot. And what you always want to try to go to someone's disadvantage. So I know that he's obviously going to be going from that side of the court back to the other side where he was standing, but I know he's going to be on the move going there. And I know that his backhand is obviously not as strong as his forehand, as most people are. So immediately what I'm saying is I know that he's not going to fly over there. So immediately hit it as hard as I can. Well, not as hard as I can, but where I want, right to his backhand. Because he's not going to be in position enough yet to be able to rotate to his forehand. So that's what I did, right to his backhand, which then he wasn't able to make. So sometimes it's just making the right decision that really makes a huge difference, and trying to think about that in advance. Going to people's weak sides or weak shots gets you a much better result. That's a mistake that I make occasionally that drives me nuts when I make it, but I also see a lot of people make this mistake that instead of being in a good position and just putting your paddle up in the position it kind of is and just making it a backhand, I'm kind of rotating my hand and putting it at a weird spot. And right there, I just need to basically turn into my forehand stance and just let it bounce off. And I'm kind of trying to catch that in the air. So that's a difficult shot, and she hit it in a great spot because she basically hit it right at my right shoulder, which if you hit naturally at someone's right shoulder, if they're righty like this, that's a very difficult shot to defend, because the way that I actually should defend that is by just basically putting my right hand up and defending it with my forehand style stance, but it's hard to do when that's coming fast. So she hit it at the perfect spot, and you should go there on a righty. It's a good shot. See, I missed that one, but that actually is what I was saying of that's actually more what I should be doing on that previous play's defense, is trying to block it with my forehand. So she went toward that exact same spot. This time she hit a little bit further wide than she wanted to, obviously, so it didn't even go in. But how I'm putting my hand right there to quickly grab that off my right shoulder, right about there is kind of where that other shot would have been. That's how I need to be defending it. From right here, boom, right up to there is the shot I want to do for that other shot's defense. Now, this one went way wide, so I actually tried to hit it. Luckily, I actually missed it, and then it actually missed long anyway. But that's more what you should be doing in that shot when someone throws it right to your right shoulder, is going right to this position right here and defending it. See, so when I talk about decisions, right, about making the right decision on the right shot, this is kind of what I'm saying as well, right? She serves it to me, and the better shot here would be to actually go right to her. So I serve to her nice and deep, which is exactly what I want. You can see how deep that is. She returns it back to me. I should have just dropped this shot. Obviously you hear a lot about the third shot drop. I went for more of a power only because the fact that she wasn't up yet. She was on her way and she wasn't at the kitchen line yet. But the problem is I hit it right to him. So all he had to do was barely defend it and it went right over. I would be okay with this drive that I was going for, but I needed to hit it at a different spot. I need to hit it right toward her because she's not up at the kitchen line yet. And I just missed it. So if I hit that exact same shot to her, she's in a bad position. And that probably ends up potentially getting me a point maybe. But right to him, that's an easy shot right there. And then obviously he defended it back and I couldn't get to it. So that was a combination of I should have made a better decision and I should have executed it better. Bad shot there. That's just an instance. I just need to reset that ball. There's really what I was attempting to do in that shot didn't really make sense regardless. So when he hits this back to me, I need to just reset this shot. But I mean, that I'm not even trying a lob there. That was just poor execution. Like that was just not, even though it ended up being pretty close to being in, the better shot there would just have been to reset it right back into the kitchen to let us get up. But instead I powered it home. Bad result. Not sure why I would do that, but it's 8-3 here. See, like that's a good drop. That was a bad shot by me there. Good shot by him actually to keep me deep, but that was a decent drop that I had from back there. That was bad. And you could hear me even yell, "What am I doing?" Because that's a stupid shot there. I was backing up, and naturally I do like these overhand smashes, but I'm in a bad position. That's just not a great. That's not a high probability shot realistically. That was going so high though. The better shot would have just been to simply let it bounce, and while it's bouncing, pay attention to where they are. Because what I'm also making the mistake of is as soon as it's up in the air, I'm not even looking at all the fact that they're deep in the kitchen or deep in the court. They're not in good position at all. So if I just simply let this bounce and hit a shot similar like I did earlier in the game, that would have been an easy point. That was just stupid though. So I yelled at myself and said, let that bounce, because that's what I should have done. That was what I was trying to do that time, and I executed it. For the most part, if I execute this shot on a regular basis, a lot of people are not going to be able to handle it. You could tell he was getting in position, but he was kind of on his way to the right. He was kind of leaning into the right down the center. And last time I made the mistake of hitting it right to his forehand, which he just was able to block. This time I just went full speed at his backhand. I think that was going to be in regardless. It looks like it was on its way. Could have been potentially out, but it was probably too close, obviously too close for him to lay off at that point too. But I simply decided to just power it at his backhand, which he wasn't able to grab, obviously. And it sounded like he was in pain, but he wasn't. He just was mad that he didn't execute the shot. But 9-4-1 now. See, that was the case. She's a lefty. That's an easy stop for her. Not a good decision. I should have went deep to him instead. No point hitting that to her. So that missed for the game. Let me just make sure that missed, because I get mad if I don't make a good call either. But I'm pretty sure that missed. Yeah, that missed. And this is the case too. I'm trying to work on this because I'm not exactly sure why I keep doing it, but I'm naturally I'm hugging that center line far too much for no reason. Like my partner's forehand is in the middle. There's just no reason that I need to be that much in the center. Like this down the line shot, had he executed it, was a perfect shot because I should not have to stretch out that far. That should be right in my wheelhouse. Like I'm super stretched to get to that for no reason. I need to not hug that line so much, so I need to work on that as well. But overall, decent match. Continuing to learn, continuing to get better in every way possible. Would love to know if there's any specific spots that you, if you're an experienced pickleball player, would recommend I do differently at different spots, make sure you timestamp it below, comment, tell me what I could work on. I'm having fun in this journey and analyzing my games, trying to get better each and every day. So hopefully this helps you a little bit. Would love to know if there was anything that I could do better or maybe that you learned from this video. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.